Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Michael Ward from GMS Lake Charles Camp, coming at you again with another video through the Spirit. But before I do anything, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who strive and taught us the truth. And blessings to you, brothers across 4 winds, pushing this truth with sincerity. Alright, I'm not really sure what I'm going to title this video, but I'm going to talk about how not to let, the things that go on in this present world, get in the way of your salvation, man. Because that time of Yahushua making that return is getting closer and closer. We are closer than ever. We see the war talk. We see the war that's going on, with the U.S. and Iran. Everything that the prophets been speaking, we see those things taking place. Now is the time, to buckle down even more. Now is the time to lock in even more and not let these distractions, get in the way of what's going on. I'm going to start it off with this. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. It say, but of the time in the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so come as a thief in the night. Right, man, the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night, man. But it's not going to catch the prophets off guard because we're on the watch. We're doing the things, that lets us know, the time that we're in. That lets us know Yahushua is, soon to make their return. So we're not going to be caught off guard. The only ones that are going to be caught off guard is the ones that's, partying and bullshitting, man. And that's what all people are doing, are partying and bullshit. The scripture says no new thing under the sun. So just like I'm gonna grab it real quick. Because just like in the time of Noah, all people was doing the same thing, and that's why they was caught off guard. That's why that flood came, man. That's why so many people, died, in that flood. Because they wasn't paying attention to the signs. They wasn't taking heed to the warnings, man. This is matter of fact, before I grab that, let me grab this real quick. This is Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word of my mouth and give my people warning from me. And that's what we're doing. We are giving our people warning from on high. Letting them know what's to come to this place. Letting them know that this place, is soon to be destroyed, man. With ICBM missiles, man. Letting them know to get right. Letting them know, to turn back before all hell break loose. But as we telling our people these things, they get to thinking, these are all words. That, we making these words up. No, man. No, man, these are words from on high, man. We was given, a message to give to the people, man. But it's up to you to take heed tonight, man. Because the words that the prophets are out here speaking, everything that the prophets are saying, is going to come to pass. Whether you want to take heed or not, or whether you believe it or not. Because these are not our words. These are words, from on high, like I've been saying. So let me grab this. This is Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. So the men of the Lord are out here speaking the words from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. We didn't just wake up one day and say we was going to go out here and, make up things, We didn't do that, man. These are words from on high, man. So it's time to get right before, Yahushua come back, because when he come back, it's not going to be good. But let me grab this. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 37. It say, But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So just like they was doing in the old times, they're going to be doing it in this time, man. They say, for as in the days they were there, Salakia. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage into the day Noah entered into the ark. Right, man. Living it up. Likewise with all people today. They are not worried about Yahweh Shah making their return. They are worried about, marrying, celebrating Mardi Gras, trying to see the next outfit they gonna wear for their birthday, so on and so forth, man. Not knowing that this place is soon to be destroyed with missiles, man. This place is soon to be, a fucking easy bake oven. Verse 39, it say, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right, man, because as Noah was giving that warning, they wasn't taking heed. They wasn't trying to hear. They wasn't listening. Likewise with all people today, they wasn't listening. They don't believe that these things are going to happen. But what the scriptures say, man, let me grab it. This is Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. It say, for what if some don't, Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some do not believe? Should their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Right, man. Just because people don't believe doesn't mean, the words that the prophets are here speaking are not going to come to pass. They're going to come to pass whether you believe it or not, So just because you don't believe doesn't mean you're going to stop anything from happening. Just because you want to prolong your stay here doesn't mean, it's going to happen. Everything has an end period, and America is soon to expire, man. That end period is approaching, You don't, in that hourglass, you don't have that much sand left. You only have a little bit of sand left, and that shit's soon to run out. And when that run out, that's when Yahweh Shah is going to make their return, man. And he's not coming back to play. This is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. It say, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. Right, man. He's not coming back to play around, man. He's coming back, to lay judgment down. He's not only is he coming back to lay judgment down, the angels, they're going to be doing the work, man. They're going to be out here getting busy right along with the chariots, zapping people, man. The day of the Lord is not going to be, it's not going to be good for majority of the people, man. Let me see. This is This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14 to say, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasted greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry bitterly. So that's letting you know how bad it's going to be, man. It's going to be so bad to where the ones that you think, was so tough, the ones that everybody was scared of, man, he's going to be scared, man. He's going to be looking for protection in that time, but he's not going to get it. The only ones that's going to have protection, is the ones that, was calling up on the Lord, man. The ones that was doing the things that pleases to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man. Let me see. Let me grab this. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 46. It say, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find doing. Right, man. And not too many people are going to be, working when Yahweh Shah makes their return. And the ones that are not working are going to be up on his bad side, man. You know? It says, verily I say unto you, that he should make you ruler over all his goods. It says, but if the evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayed his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servant, and eat and drink, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in the day he looketh not for him, in an hour that he is not aware of it. Right, man? He's going to get caught off guard, you know? Because, you know, once they began to say, you know, my Lord, delay is coming, you know, you start to, you know, not do the things that pleases him, you know? You start to indulge in other things, man. You know, and indulge in that wickedness, man. Just like, you know the bus come, you know, at this certain amount of time. You know the bus come at 6:30. You know, time go by. You know, it's 6:45. Shit. You're not going to be on the lookout for that bus anymore because it's not coming when it's supposed to. You know, not saying that Yahushua is not coming when he's supposed to, which he is, but it's not happening, you know, when certain people want things to happen. So by it's not happening when they want it to happen, you know, they take their eyes off the prize, man. But this is not the case. You can't take your eyes off this prize, man. You know, taking your eyes off this prize, it's not going to end well, you know, because we know what this world has to offer is death. That's the only thing that this world has to offer you is death, man. That's the only thing you can get from this world. Nothing good is going to come out, you know, of this place. You know, you don't have a good ending by joining hands, you know, with this devil, man. The only way you're going to have a good expected end is by cleaving into Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. You know? But, you know, that was something that I wanted to get off my spirit. You know, I've been meditating on it all day. Lord willing, you know, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, great millstone, who strive and taught us this truth. Peace, safety, and blessings to you brothers across 4 winds, pushing this truth and sincerity. Until next time, shalom.